is a 150 foot tall, while the process unit was in operation. We all know that whenever we need to conduct any job in the refinery projects, in the refinery chambers, we need to ensure that there is a shutdown. So these guys, they chose to work while the process unit was in operation. During the removal of piping naphtha, naphtha was released on the hot fractionator, and which it brought about ignitions. After ignition, you will all agree with me that whatever is being prepared in the refinery has a lot of gases, and the flames, all of them engulfed the 5 workers who are located at different heights of the tower. You can see this tower here on your left-hand side. If I'm trying to move my cursor, at least you can see. This is the tower, 150 foot tall, the fractionator itself. Now, when those 5 workers were engulfed by the flames, 4 of them were killed, and 1 of them sustained very serious injuries. In 2000, after this incident, another company, Ultramar Diamond Shamrock Corporation, purchased this facility in September 2000, and they named it the Golden Eagle Refinery. Now, you can see, until now, there is no investigation which has been conducted to what caused the 2 fires, the first explosion and the second one, until now. And then we have another company, corporation, which is coming to purchase the facility. Now, since there was a serious incident, the fact that another fatality had occurred at the AVON facility in 1997, the US Chemical Safety and Hazard Investigation Board, they initiated an investigation, which was to determine what was the cause, the root cause and the contributing cause of the incident. Why they did this? They did this so that they can be able to issue recommendations which would help in preventing similar occurrences. You will agree with me that if we will be doing safety to prevent similar occurrences, then I think we'll be doing too much of investigations and all that. We should determine the root causes and the contributing causes so that we can be able to learn. We learn on how to be able to work safely and avoid unsafe acts plus conditions. So after that, you can see again the causes of the incident, which happened in February 10, 1999. There was a pinhole leak, and it was discovered when the crude unit on the east side of the top elbow of the naphtha piping, where it was attached to the fractionator, 112 feet above the grade. In this area, when they were able to see the pinhole leak, the TOSCO personnel, they responded very quickly so that they could be able to try and isolate the piping. In this time, they were trying to isolate the piping. Remember, the unit is still in operation. Now, they had to do something more, inspection of the naphtha piping. You can see here, where I'm moving my cursor, we have the naphtha piping here. When they were trying to do the inspection here, they were able to see that there was too much extensive thinning and corrosion. And an urgent decision was made so that they can be able to replace this large section of the naphtha line. Why? So that they can be able to take care of the thinning and the corrosion which was observed. Now, when they were deciding this, there were 13 days between the discovery of the leak and the fire. So All this time, the workers made numerous and successful attempts to try and isolate and drain the naphtha piping. They wanted to try at least to make sure that there is nothing inside here, which would at least prevent fire to start. Or you can see on the left-hand side of the naphtha release area, we have the crude fractionator tower. Here inside we have heat. Heat is inside here. So this proximity was a dangerous, unsafe condition. And when they tried to do all this, the pinhole leak reoccurred 3 times, whereby the isolation valves were retightened in unsuccessful efforts so that they could try to isolate the piping. It never happened, and the supervisors, they were able to proceed and schedule the line to get replaced while the unit was still in operation. So all of us, we know when we are doing these type of activities, we need permit to work. All this time, you can agree with me that there is nothing, there is no investigation being done, there is no toolbox being done, there is no any awareness being conducted, there is no permit to work being issued so that they can do the job. There is no shutdown which is being mentioned here. They tried to just try and replace whatever they could replace so that they could at least continue with the job. Activities in refinery projects, they are very, very much sensitive. And without proper coordination, it's not easy at all to be able to succeed in doing them. So let's come back to the incident. On that day of the incident, you can imagine this piping of the naphtha. It had approximately 90 gallons here. Luckily, on that day, a work permit authorized maintenance employees to drain and remove the piping. So they want to drain and remove the piping so that they can be able to rectify the problem, which was the leaking. So what happened? They tried several times to drain the line, and because they were not able to do it, the supervisor of TOSCO, the maintenance supervisor, he directed the workers to make 2 cuts into the piping. And then when this first cut was made, there was nothing which happened. Because as you can see, the first cut happened on top here, near the naphtha release area. So they did the second cut here. When they did the second cut, naphtha started leaking. Then the supervisor again instructed the employees to open the flank here. When they opened this flank, they wanted to ensure that the line becomes drained. As the line was draining, more naphtha was released to the open end of the piping that had been cut first. And what happened? It ignited, and what caused the ignition was because of the nearby hot surfaces of the fractionator, this one here. As I had discussed there before, this area is hot area. This is where all the action is. And due to this, the surface is very hot. Now, what happened when the piping naphtha was drained from the second cut? All the whole tower structure and the personnel, they were engulfed. It ignited and there was fire. So those people who were working there, they were all engulfed there. And that was a very, very, very dangerous for them. So after this, There was the key findings when it was conducted, when the investigations was conducted by the EPA, and they gave some findings which we are supposed to also to discuss them. Now they said, when we are removing the naphtha piping in the process unit, we must understand that operation involves very significant hazards. And once again, this job was non-routine. There was no shutdown. They just went ahead to do it when the system was in operation. And remember, they were doing this, they were supposed to remove all that naphtha at a section of 100 feet height, and the piping was 6 inch. Remember, naphtha is very flammable, in fact, highly flammable. So when these workers, they were conducting the removal, they were positioned as high as 112 feet above the ground. If you are at that position, remember, you don't have any way to be able to escape. You are suspended somewhere. It is not that it's somewhere like it is on the floor, you can be able to escape and run away. You are suspended at that height. Now, remember that fractionation has a hot process units, and there are multiple sources of ignitions. If one isolation valve could not be fully closed, then there was a problem with plugging. This time, remember this, on 3 occasions prior to that incident, the pipe of the naphtha pipe resumed again to leak from that original pinhole. And by the look of ways, this one indicated that one or more isolation valves were leaking, because if the reception of the leaking came back, there must be somewhere we have another valve which is not working, and it might be leaking. And you will agree with me that all of us who are able to work in the refinery projects, you understand that dealing with the valves which are leaking is not the best way, because whenever the valves, they are supposed to assist us to prevent any unsafe condition coming, and they start leaking, then it means we are in a very great problem. So they tried numerous attempts to drain the piping, and they were all unsuccessful. They tried also to remove a small section of that pipe, and then they found out that the line was extensively plugged. They did this one for 7 occasions, and the downstream naphtha stripper vessel, it got filled, which indicated that there was a probable isolation valve leakage. You can see this side, this is a reactor on your left-hand side of the presentation. You can see the rupture, which is around here, which happened. This was for the piping. So you can imagine if this one happened here, there must have been a lot of the hot liquid which was spilled over, which at least caused the fire, the death, the problem to the environment on that particular site. Then, you will agree with me that we had discussed about the one of the naphtha pipes which was cut during the repair work. And everybody, including the supervisor, they knew that that pipe contained flammable liquid. TOSCO themselves, they had procedures in place, but they were not following them. There was one procedure particularly which was on guidance about the piping, draining, doing the depressuring, flushing prior to opening the the whole system so that they can be able to drain or remove the naphtha. They had the procedure, but unfortunately it never specified if there would be any other alternative course of action if there was some problem during the draining. They were all aware that the process was, the hot process equipment was close to the removal work, and the procedures which was available plus the safe work permit, they were not able to identify the ignition sources as part of the potential hazards. Also, the permit failed to identify the presence of hazardous amounts of benzene in the naphtha. Will you agree with me that benzene is very flammable? And when it is inside the naphtha, then it means it increases the flammability and much problem occurs. Now, in that naphtha stripper vessel level control bypass valve, which was leaking, unfortunately, it prevented isolation of the line, which was operating the process unit. This problem caused the running unit to get pressurized, and it sent the pressurizing to the naphtha piping. There were too much excessive levels of corrosive material and water, which was in the naphtha line, and the operation of the bypass valve was also a problem. And all these brought about excessive levels of corrosives and water, which plugged the piping and led to the first initial leak. That initial leak, which was observed by the employees, and they informed the supervisor, but then they don't do anything. They just continued with their work. Now, we'll continue again here. The findings are too much after the multiple explosions. TOSCO's job planning procedures, they never required a formal evaluation of hazards, which would have replaced the naphtha piping. In their own procedures, evaluation of the hazards, they had said that the pipe repair work was a low risk maintenance. And we all understand that any process activity or any process repair work has never been a low risk. It has never, because it consists of very, very serious hazards which can cause inability to drain or isolate whatever the naphtha which is available there. Now, the supervisors and the workers during that week, they were working on knowledge that the low risk classification was not there. There was no information to the management, and there was no plan which was formulated to control all the known hazards. In that week also, there was no reevaluation of the hazards. So they just went ahead to work. They never had time to reevaluate again where there was the first explosion, where there was the second, where was the naphtha pipe leak, where was the valves leaking, where was there that small pinhole leak in the naphtha piping. They were not able to go and do all that. Now, the permit to work from TOSCO was authorized by the unit operator on the day of the incident. The unit operator is the one who authorized the permit to work. Of course, if I am a unit operator and I need to deliver, I'll just authorize it, and then they continue working as I make the production. The supervisors, they were not involved, and nobody inspected that job site, or there was also nobody who reviewed the permit. You will agree with me that anytime that we are issuing permits, wherever we are working, it has several people who we have to review, to confirm it was reviewed, to acknowledge it was reviewed, to review once again evaluation of the hazards and know how the risk is classified. But in this case here at TOSCO, that was not the case. The operation supervisors plus the refinery safety personnel were not even present to oversee the work activities. This reminds us that when we are operation supervisors, operation managers in refinery areas, we are also safety professionals, personnel in the refinery areas. In any area, not only the refinery areas, we must ensure that our presence is seen. We must be available to guide the people on what to do, to work, to guide them, to make sure that they don't involve themselves in unsafe acts and they don't work in unsafe conditions. We have to at least have some time to create awareness to them. But anyway, in this particular part, operational supervisors and the safety personnel, they were not present there. There was only the maintenance supervisor who was present during the piping removal work. Now, the maintenance supervisor, for him, he will not even care whatever would happen because he wants the maintenance to be conducted so that the production can continue. But if we had at least the operation supervisors there and the safety personnel there, at least they would have worked in teamwork and they would have been able at least to see whatever problems they were there, whatever unsafe action, unsafe conditions they were there, and at least come into an agreement on how to prevent the explosions. But this one never happened. So what happened after that? The Environmental Protection Agency, they also determined that there was lack of operational supervisory oversight during this critical activity. And they also noted during the previous AVON Refinery incident in 1997, the explosion and fire at the hydrocracker, which resulted to one fatality, was caused by lack of operations supervisory oversight, especially during these critical, safety critical activities. We'll go to the next number 7. They also found out that in the 3 years prior to the incident, the corporate safety group of TOSCO and the facility management of AVON, they never conducted any documented audits of the refinery's line breaking. They never did anything like, they never checked, documented the lockout, the tag out, any blinding, or any procedures and practices which were supposed to be followed. This was found during the investigation of the incident. Now, there was also one last thing which was not done by TOSCO. There was no management of change. They never reviewed what the hazards which were available there when the processes were changing, even when they were to operate the crude desalter, even when they wanted to do the designing, they never even knew about the excessive water in the crude feedstock. And also, they never had time to know about the bypass valve, which was partially open during the operation. There were memos and incident reports from the TOSCO management, which they were very clear that the operational problems and the increased rate of corrosion was observed. However, they never did any corrective actions on time. They were not able to prevent the plug-in and excessive corrosion in the naphtha piping, which this one teaches us anytime there is an incident, anytime we are having management of change, we need to make sure that any new hazard which is identified is at least taken care of, and the employees, they are informed so that they can be able to work safely. Remember, despite that we lose the lives of employees, or maybe we make them after the incidents not to be able to work for their families. There is also something also for the companies where we work, they never regard the company as a good company, maybe because they think they are not taking care of the employees. And this is very clear that employees should be our first priority, and we should always encourage them to be safe. And we encourage them as we walk the talk. We encourage them to do the same things, and we lead them to do the same things. At least if there is any incident, if there is any near miss, at least we should go back, we conduct the investigations, check on the action plans, on how we are supposed to close the action points. So, after the two incidents, we all agree that anytime there is any incident, we usually encourage external parties to come and try to assist us in the investigations, because that is part, anywhere we have loss of life, we have destruction of property, we have also a problem to the environment. Remember, the government will always be involved. So the Environmental Authority of America, the Californian OSHA offices, plus the Bay Area, BAAQMD is the Bay Area Air Quality Management Department. They all developed some recommendations which address the root causes plus the contributing factors to prevent a recurrence or a similar event again at TOSCO and other facilities. Remember, at TOSCO, there were two of them. So they were at least, they wanted to make sure that it never happens again there or in any other facility. And at the same time, they recommended that all hydroprocessing facilities should consider the recommendations in the context of their own circumstances and remember to implement them as appropriate. So what were the recommendations? One, they spoke about the management to ensure that all the decisions regarding operations are not going to be based on primarily on cost and production, because that is what happened. It is clear that they were doing the non-routine work when operation was still on. Performance goals and operating risks must be communicated to all the employees effectively. Let us remind the employees, we need you to perform, this is the goal, but still, these are the risks, and this is a way to prevent ourselves from these type of risks. Facility management must set safe, they must also have achievable operating limits, and they should never tolerate any deviations from the said limits. If we do some deviation from the risks, when we are having operating limits, we must make sure that all the operators are aware. Our management also must also provide an environment whereby we have the operators who can be able to follow any emergency shutdown procedures when required. You will agree with me that they were supposed to at least conduct an emergency shutdown so that they would be able to repair that small leak, but they never did that one. A decision was made based on the cost and production, and they were not even thinking about the risks which are there during the operation. We must also ensure something like process instrumentation and all the controls are well designed while they are considering a human factor. Because you can see where those gentlemen, they were working at that 112 feet up. There was no any other plan for them if there is any emergency, how they can be able to get evacuated. That hydroprocessing reactor temperature controls, they should have been consolidated with all the necessary data available in the control room. At least in the control room, somebody can be able to monitor them at least and see when the temperatures they are increasing, and then inform them so that they can evacuate themselves before the actual explosion. There must be some backup system of temperature indicators so that if one is not working, at least the other one can work. And alarm system should also be designed to be able to allow emergency alarms to be distinguished from other operating alarms. There must be the difference in the siren alarm. There must be a difference between that. If something is an emergency, a critical emergency alarm, it should have its own system. And the operating alarms should also have their own systems. And all this should be informed to all the employees. And at least there should be some time to test if they are working. There should be supervision. You'll agree with me that there was no any operation supervisors, there was no any safety personnel available during all that, whatever was being done. During this type of operations, which are very critical, supervisors need to ensure that all the procedures are followed. And they should at all times be able to identify all the operating hazards. And if there is any incident, they conduct investigations to check if there is any deviation. And if there is any deviation, again, check what is the root cause of that deviation. What caused employer Y to deviate from the safety requirement? And after you get to know that, take the corrective action, which will be able to prevent an incident like this one. Also, we have to make sure that equipment, job performance issues relating to operating incidents are corrected by the management. This gives us as safety professionals, safety personnel, it gives us the responsibility and accountability that whenever we are doing our job, we must make sure that any type of operating hazard which is identified, if we conduct some investigations and we find any deviation, if there is any problem with the equipment or maybe job performance issues, we should ensure that the management is aware and it corrects them. If they would have corrected all these in the initial stages, there will not have been any problem at all. Then we also need to know that all the facilities should have an equipment integrity. And if there is any problem with the operation, if there is any integrity compromising, the process should be stopped and emergency shutdown is done. Remember, when we'll be doing the emergency shutdown of the equipment, we are not preventing the production, or maybe we are not escalating the cost, but we are trying to save on the future. We are trying to make sure that these same employees will be able to work for the same company for a specified period without any incident. And we're also trying to make sure that the organization where we are working, they will be able to work without any incidents, at least which might cause problem from insurance requirements and all this. We must also ensure that we make our management aware that operators receive training about the operations of the process units and the chemistry behind that. There should be a training including the reactions, and also we check on what causes the temperatures to rise. This training should be conducted to the operators, and they should also be trained on to understand what are the limitations of the process instruments. And if there is any instrument malfunction, how are they supposed to handle? What are the procedures they are supposed to follow?
Excuse me, Mr. Joseph, you're taking a long time. Could you please try to conclude?
Now I'm doing the conclusion.
Okay.
This is the last slide. So in the management, we must also ensure that when we are developing the procedures, all the phases are taken care of, and the procedures are reviewed regularly. Process hazard analysis has to be based on the actual equipment and the operating condition that exists at the time of the analysis. There should no you should not include any critical operating system such as temperature or emergency operating systems. So that is it, because the last two slides, they are also speaking about whatever I've been able to discuss in the 3 slides before. This is was the last conclusion. But as I conclude, we need to know about the safety personnel's our job, and to ensure that all work which we conduct in the process, we follow the safety requirements and the process safety to ensure that we conduct the jobs in a safe manner. Thank you so much, and apologies for taking too much time. If there are any questions, I'll be able to answer if allowed to. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joseph, for this elaborate presentation. We urge the audience, if there is any question, you can post it and we can take it up, or you can question directly to the speaker. But we will be, for sake of time management, we will be taking 1-2 questions in the beginning, and the later part of the questions we can take it after the second speaker, because we understand that there is a different time zone, and our speaker may be having other engagement itself. So if somebody is having a question, I can take 1-2 questions, and later on I will push for another one. Okay. Okay, if immediate questions are not there, we will park it here for Mr. Joseph, and we will be inviting another speaker today. It is my pleasure to invite Mr. Anurag Tripathi. We are going to hear next part of the session, which we have left last month, and it is experience sharing steps towards safety excellence. A brief about our eminent speaker, those who have joined it first time here. He is veteran from oil industry, mechanical engineer with postgraduate qualification in business administration. He has 39 years of experience. Out of 19 years has been in HSE consulting in India and abroad. Mr. Tripathi has trained several executives from K company in Kuwait, area of behavior safety, modern safety practices. His core expertise lies in area of HSE leadership consulting. He was senior advisor for Petroleum India International, or co-venture of Premium Indian Oil Sector Company. He has been visiting faculty of NITIE, National Safety Council, and exam host for Robert Gordon University in India. He is currently in panel faculty of Grasim Business of Aditya Birla Group and United Phosphorus Limited. So without taking much time, let me give this floor to our speaker, Mr. Anurag Tripathi, and it is honor to welcome him. Mr. Anurag Tripathi, sir. Hello, sir. Are you able to hear us? Ramana?
Yeah, let me check again.
Yeah, maybe some connectivity issue.
Yes. He lost his connection, seems.
Like I was saying in the beginning of a startup, internet connectivity in some area is very turbulent. So bear with us.
Few seconds back, he was online. Let me talk.
Sardar, meanwhile, we can do the networking or the next session speaker. If anyone wants to come forward and deliver this one.
Great,
Please.
great. In the beginning, I said it. This is a platform where you can able to share your new experience towards process safety management. It is urged to everyone who is here to have a presentation either for 10 to 15 minutes, or if you are having a wide variety of experience with process safety field, you can come forward for the experience lesson sharing. So I'm looking for your active participation, which is keeping us program lined up for another 2-3 session, and it will be engaging more audience. So we will be just enhancing our networking, and inshallah, if things are materializing everything, then we will be having our in-person meeting itself. So anyone who wishes to have this to share their experience towards journey of process safety management, any lesson learned sharing, so please come forward for the next session. We have also some support.
Sorry,
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sardar, now Tripathi sir is there. Yes.
Sir, welcome you,
Yeah.
Mr. Anurag Tripathi, sir. It's an honor to welcome you.
Yeah.
Now I leave floor to you for your presentation, a step towards safety excellence.
Thank you. I'm actually somewhere outside Mumbai, so that's the reason. Can you see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Many things to be covered. Actually, this is a very big subject. We'll try to. Again, I have brought in three points this time, and as we go along, we'll see what else can be done to add, because it's a very big subject. I mean, we can keep on going further and further. So
thank you, sir. No problem. We will take 3 steps itself, and we have a long way to go this escalator.
yeah.
We look forward for your support.
Yeah. So today's 3 points in the journey to safety excellence are: number 1, before you start off anything, the company or the organization must have some kind of a safety vision, and I'll elaborate on that. The second one is that whatever goals companies set, they should be very meaningful and they should also be achievable. And there is a lot of challenge in this area, which I will try to highlight. And the third is the working professionals, most of you who are in the field, you should create very clear expectations for the working crew or for the contractors to execute in safety. You might think that you are creating this, but actually it is not happening. And I will highlight it as we go along. So let me start with the safety vision. Well, the first point, I mean, without a vision on safety, it is almost impossible to achieve excellence. You'll run the business. Business would run, things would be okay, but they will never be excellent. In order for them to be excellent, I mean, companies, organizations do have vision for their business performance, isn't it? They do have. So why not the people should think that there should be a vision for safety also? Now, there's a lack of clarity on the vision and goal. And that is where the confusion comes. Let me help you to understand what could be a safety vision. There are 3 points in this. As you can read on the screen, the vision is always about the why part of it. What to do, how to do are the execution things. Why part becomes a reason for doing anything. And well, this is itself a very big subject, and someday I'll cover this in more detail, this topic alone. During my programs on leadership, I actually take up this one topic of why, what, and how, and I take them on a long journey. But for your sake right now, I'm saying the management must know as to why they are trying to create a vision and why they are going to do anything, whatever they are going to do. Now, this is not only management should be clear, everyone should be clear. Everyone. But unless they are clear, you cannot be clear. Yeah. Now I'm giving you a better version of it. As I talk, you keep thinking about what could a vision be, because I'll give you an example of vision also. Vision is something which charges you emotionally. It doesn't have a technical reason. It doesn't have a technological reason. There is a hardcore emotion involved in that. And if you review the vision statements of many organizations, you will see that they have emotion built inside. Why? Because only an emotion can put people in motion. Human beings many times confuse, and you could also be a confused person. You might be thinking sometimes, suppose I ask you this question, are you a logical person or are you an emotional person? I bet my life, many of you would be confused. Many of you would say, well, I'm a logical person. Well, you could be. But let me give you the insight into the research. What the research of psychology and human beings says, all human beings are primarily emotional people. You never act on anything in your life with logic. First, you move with emotion, then you apply logic to do it rightly. Unless the emotion is there, logic will go haywire. And that is again a very big subject. So, unless the companies say packed, people will have nothing to look forward to. And that brings us to the third point. Vision is what motivates people to move forward. Now, unless it has emotions, people will not move forward. So now you have got some clarity of vision. Vision gives you the reason, the why. It is emotionally packed and it propels you to move forward. Vision is like a fuel. It's like a fuel in a car. No fuel, car is not going anywhere. You could be having a Ferrari. Who cares? So you could be having a large team and you could be having big safety goals. It could be useless. Now, let me give you two examples of vision also. Here is the first example. I want you to read this and absorb it. It might take you some time to understand this, what I've written here. Read it and absorb it. This is a vision statement. People who come to work for us, our vision for them is that whatever level of health they came, when they retire, they go back with a better health. This is rock solid vision. Imagine this. Imagine this.
Yes, sir, there's any
It
issue?
went off again. Am I there now? Yeah, this internet is unstable here. Okay, you can see me? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. So imagine people entering at some X level of health and going with X plus level of health. That is a vision statement. Now, if a company can have that kind of vision, it can propel people forward. This is another vision statement. Everybody will be accountable for safety. That is the kind of vision the company is painting. Accountable, not responsible. Now, there's a difference. Accountability is a much bigger thing. Responsibility is a subset. Accountability contains responsibility. Now, that is a kind of a big vision. First point, if companies want to have excellence, they should have vision statements on safety. And if you are working closely with your management, I would suggest tell them this thought. How about creating a vision statement? And it takes time. Now coming to the second point, setting goals which are meaningful, achievable, and sustainable. And I want to bring out something very familiar to all of you and which has confused a lot of people in the industry. Visions, this goal of 0 injuries. This is a very, very confusing goal. If you ask me my personal thing, and we can have debate on it, it is a stupid goal. It is not a correct goal. This goal of 0 accident paralyzes people. People get paralyzed. They don't get motivated. It sucks energy. So suppose I am your boss, I am the MD of the company, and I tell you the goal is 0 accident. Mr. Manager, the goal is 0 accident. You get paralyzed, boss. How am I going to get it? And that's exactly my question. How are you going to get it? The problem is, actually 0 accident was a vision statement. Actually, to have 0 injuries was a vision statement which has been translated into a goal statement. To have 0 injuries is a vision of the managing director, of the chairman of the company. It is not a goal. Goal is something what? Many of you know, goal should be smart, specific, measurable, So goal should be measured. So in order to achieve the vision of 0 injuries, what would you do? That should be the goal. If the goal itself is 0 injuries, then you are confused. There is no strategy. And I would blame myself also when I was working for Shell. Shell also has the same confused philosophy. 0 injury, because what is Shell? Shell is made up of people like me and you. Many companies are pursuing this agenda of 0 injury as a goal, and they're failing repeatedly. And even if you achieve 0 injury, let us for a moment take it that you have achieved 0 injury this year. Can you sustain it? Can you sustain it? You will find no, because it is impossible. These goals are also coming by way of luck. So even if you get 1 year 0 accidents or 0 injuries, whatever you call it, it is not sustainable because there are certain situations which are beyond your control. Let me give you an example. You're driving on the road, you're driving very safely, all belted, right lane, right speed, and there is a truck coming from the other side and it jumps the lane and comes and bangs you and you are dead. So what happened to your 0 injury? You were doing everything right. But in a 0 injury goal environment, you will be blamed. No, but you should have been a defensive driver. What defensive driver was? What should I have been done? I was going on my left lane or whatever lane. I was going at a right speed. I was belted. If the bloody truck jumps out of nowhere and hit me, what happens now? So to sum it up, please understand. Zero accident is a vision statement. It is not a goal statement. And hence, it is a statement which belongs to the managing director or the chairman of the company, not to you. Unfortunately, there has been very poor communication in this regard. The chairman says so, MD repeats it, VP repeats it, everybody repeats it, and right to the worker or foreman repeats it. Everybody says my goal is zero accident. If everybody's goal is zero accident, who will work? Who will work and who will do what? I'll give you some meaningful goals, examples. Read this. This is a meaningful goal. This year, we will create 5 in-house subject matter experts. That is a goal. So you are in charge of your say maintenance in your refinery, and you have a large department. You can have a goal. This year, I will create 4, 5, 6, whatever internal experts so that we can do the trainings internally. That is a goal. And that takes you further. And this is something which is also achievable. This is also something which is sustainable, because those people are not going to go anywhere. Second example. This year or this quarter, I will increase the safety observations by 50%. That is a meaningful, achievable, and sustainable goal. When you think of this as a goal, you know what to do. You know exactly what to do. There is no confusion. Whatever compliance, whatever audit recommendations are coming in, the goal is that in this Q1, there will be 100% compliance on all the audit findings. That is an achievable, meaningful, and sustainable activity. I will conduct 4 leadership trainings, or maybe I will attend, whatever. But do you see a pattern in these things? There is a number here. There is a number which is achievable, meaningful, and sustainable. It is not abstract thing. There is a very definite way. It's very easy to understand, okay, what to do. So if I ask you what to do, so you will know exactly what to do to achieve this. So there is no confusion here. And then we come to the third and the last point. Having clear safety expectations. Now, what do you want your teams to do in PSM? That should be clear in your mind. If you notice, and I would challenge you tomorrow onwards, you go and observe, when it comes to safety, it is very easy for safety managers or operations managers to tell the team what not to do. But there are not very many answers to tell what to do. Unless you tell people what do you want from them, how will they know what do you want? It is very easy to say, oh, no, don't climb up the ladder like this. So the question is, how should I climb up? Can you tell him? Don't do the welding like this. Don't stand on the platform like this. How should I stand? Can you tell me? So let me take another example. You have a contract safety document which you attach with the contract which you give out. It is full of text. And it tells lot of high funda stuff that contractor shall get the equipment which shall conform to BIS code number so and so and this code number so and so. Put your hand on heart and tell me, will he read the document? And have you read it? Why not? If you don't read it, why should he read it? So you have a thick document which you think he will read, and in case something goes wrong, we will nab him. And he is very smart because he's working in your petrochemical complex or refinery for the last so many years. He knows who cares. What is happening, sir? It's a game going on. Neither you have read it nor he reads it, but you attach the document and you think everything is there. Is this how we work? Is this how we work? Why can't we be very clear on key expectations? Absolutely clear. This is how I want it. And I'll show you some examples. Look at this picture. It's a wonderful picture I took in Singapore. This is a MCB panel, or some panel, electric panel. And you see the two photographs. Now you know it that as per the electricity laws or the rules, whatever factory rules or refinery rules, all the critical equipment must be operated by authorized people, isn't that? So it should be operated by authorized electrician. Forklift should be operated by authorized driver. Crane should be operated by authorized driver. Now, when you write operated by authorized electrician, what does it mean actually? Is it clear who is the authorized electrician? Is it clear? It is not clear. Instead of that, if you take the photograph of the authorized electrician in your plant and you put it on the equipment, isn't it clear? Who is the man going to operate it? Imagine all the cranes, all the forklifts, all the JCBs, all the hydras, all the MCC panel, every place which has an authorized person, it has the photo of the authorized person. It is done, sir. It is done. No confusion. And in fact, you know, it is a brilliant way to audit. So suppose you are a manager quality control, okay? And you happen to go to the MCC room. Now you don't know who is the authorized electrician, but at the gate of the MCC room, there's a photograph pasted of the electrician. And you see somebody else going in and coming out. You as manager QC can spot, you say, no, but this photograph is different. Who's this man? And you have done the audit. See, now it is becoming functional. And I'm giving you a straight away hint. Why not do this in your plant? So in the control room, don't write only authorized entry. What is the meaning of authorized entry, sir? Write down, put the names and the photograph of all the 6 people who come in 3 different shifts. Everybody is clear. Let me give you a second example. How do you store gas cylinders? This is it. Where is the confusion? Instead of writing 1 page, the contractor shall ensure that all the gas cylinders are conforming to BIS clause number 5.1.3 para 3 line number 44. Who cares what para, what line? This photograph tells you this is how I expect you to store the gas cylinders. End of discussion. I hope you're getting a point. I can show you a lot of photographs, but there's no point going in that. All I'm telling you, what I notice and what pains me, that safety people and their bosses are hiding behind the content, the tons of text which they are writing. Everybody is just getting the job done. Who is bothered about understanding? Remember one golden rule, sir. Remember one golden rule. Unless what you say is understood by the other party, your responsibility, your contractors must know that, okay, this is how he wants the cylinders to be stored. So that's it. I would end it here. And all those who are following me on LinkedIn, they can continue to read things which I keep writing, because I write a lot of things on safety leadership there. Last week also I wrote. But if you have any questions, you can shoot. I hope that you have got the essence today: vision, meaningful goal, and clear expectations. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Anurag sir. It was a really very thought-provoking, and you are a real agent of change management with very thought-provoking and making real changes. We look forward for your support and some more training in future. I know even if it is 3-4 points only, but it requires a lot of time and deliberate thinking in this. Thank you very much for sparing your time, sir. If audience is having any question, we can take that some questions. So there are a lot of congratulatory message from audience. Thank you, Anurag sir. It is making a real changes at site and making us clear understanding. Okay, let me invite some of our gentlemen for a few questions. Dr. Siva Penke sir, if you are around. Okay, Muruganandam sir, you can open your question directly to our speaker. Ramanaji, please.
Thank you, Safdar. Yeah, thanks, Safdar. Actually,
Yes,
my question for first session, can I raise now or? First
no,
session speaker is there?
Anurag sir is having some engagement. So please spare Anurag sir first, and then we'll come back to the second part of that, sir.
Yeah, okay. No question for Anurag sir. It is useful for us tips. Thank you.
Great, great, sir. Great. Anybody is having any question from Anurag sir presentation? I believe it was a very crystal clear, and people has a real sense of understanding. So thank you, sir, for enlightening us in such a clear.
Then
yes.
Mr. Nasir Davre.
Okay. Nasir Davre, sir, the mic is open for you. You can post your question directly to Anurag, sir.
Yeah, thanks a lot for giving the opportunity, and really thankful to Anurag sir for having a wonderful session. Actually, my question is not related to today's topic. We would like to listen something from him in future about how to develop the HSE improvement plans, something on the KPIs and like how to have the HSE improvement plans, how to develop it, what are the important steps or what are the contents of those HSE improvement plans.
Okay. I'll work on it and come back to you. It will take some time because I'm sure you do have some HSE improvement plans in your place, and if it will be helpful if you could share those plans with me so that I can actually customize my answer to you.
Actually, unfortunately, sir, we don't have that, and that's actually we have to develop it. So, and just sort of an guidance from your vast experience, we would like to listen it from you.
To give you an instant answer, I can share something. Normally, what happens is, whatever is happening in the current year, okay, your injuries, your near misses, your whatever, your process accidents, whatever, you take them, you compile the data, and based on that, you draw a trend. You see a pattern. What is going on the higher risk side? Or what is the industry trend? Okay. And based on those things, you draw up the HSE improvement plans. You don't draw them in isolation. Just because you say, let us have next year management of change, introduction. Let us have next year maybe operational, or say chemical process improvements. Don't go by that way. you look at what kind of mass data from your industry is showing you where are you going wrong. For example, in many countries like in India, road safety is a big issue. Okay, so those companies which have a lot of road exposure, for them road safety remains #1 threat. That compels them to draw up the HSE improvement plan with maybe 70% focus on road safety. Suppose your company has plans to go for expansion. If you're going for expansion, which means your HSE improvement plan must look towards construction related issues. If you have commissioned a facility and you are running short of people, then maybe your HSE improvement plan should highlight towards training more people. So the trend, the future plan should decide the goal of your HSE improvement plan.
There is another question from Mr. Kayur Pandya. You can post your question directly to Anurag sir. Mr. Kayur.
Thank you, Sabdar sir, and thank you, Anurag sir. I believe we are talking again.
Yeah.
Sir, yes, sir. How are you?
Good.
Sir, actually, in your last session, I was not able to attend, but I attended through our YouTube live video. And in that, you shared that our process safety management can cause lots of damage, lots of injuries, but not the PPs and all. So how we can involve more and more people? Some tips from your side to let them give some observation about PSM2, if there is any.
I'm not clear about the question. You said, I said that PSM causes damage. I don't think I said that.
Yeah, see, normally what we do as a safety, not only me, like most of us, we focus more on PPEs, we focus more on housekeeping and all, but we focus less on PSM, process safety management. If there is some gaps, we are not able to find out. So how we can drag some attention of specialized or like us, attention towards that?
See, again, first of all, if your goals are correct, now that is what I'm saying. I'm combining now all these things. If your goals are correct, the goal must not be 0 injuries. That is a goal which jams your thinking. You are frozen. You can't think anything. Your goal should be centered around activities which are doable. So
correct.
So if your goal is, in a plant there could be massive corrosion going on. So why can't you have goal that this year we'll have 30% less corrosion? Why can't you have goal that we will have trained auditors for the internal auditors in the plant? Now these kind of goals will actually help PSM. Okay. Contractor management itself is a very big subject. Why can't you say, okay, we'll define certain standards for contractor safety? So first of all, shift your mind from 0 injuries. 0 injury has blocked us completely. Take that out, forget it. 0 injury will come or not come, that depends on God. Okay. Your goal should be to do certain things now. So can you create certain goals? Can you create goals in different areas of your plant for maintenance, for confined space, for all the 14 elements of PSM? Can you create goals in that area? Okay. Contractor safety management, incident investigation. Can you create goals? If you create goals in that area, work will happen in that area. What happens? We don't create goals in this area. We create an overall goal. And that overall goal doesn't tell you what to do. I hope
clear. Yes, sir. I can link both of those. Thank you, sir. Thank you again.
Mr. Khan, what I was thinking, just an idea.
Yes,
in the days to come, if it makes sense to you people, because many of you are safety professionals, I was just thinking to help the community. I could also plan some topics on presentation skills or developing the trainers, or developing the skills of communication or presentation for the trainers. Think about it. We need not have it
Great,
now.
sir.
Okay.
Thank
anytime.
you for coming forward with such a wonderful idea, sir. Definitely we'll come back to you with some concrete plan. And unfortunately, our PSM expert, Ujjwal sir, was on traveling.
No issue.
So we were not able to catch you on that more to harness that expertise you are having, but immensely we are benefited from you, sir. And definitely we will come back with your proposal. Thank you for sparing such wonderful time, sir. Now we will not take much of your timing, sir. Those who are coming for the first time here, kindly introduce yourself. Before starting introduction, Muruganandam sir was having a question to the first speaker.
Safdar.
Yes, can I raise my question?
Yes.
Yeah, it was very informative on PSM. He pointed out a lot of incidents, but I need from the presenter or any other our expert, those who are present today, it was a major challenges for our HSC professional, even those who have the authorized gas tester, they are very difficult to identify the hydrocarbon presence in the fractionating columns, any large columns. Example, our presenter, Mr. Joseph, he explained, the benzene presence in the fractionating column, what he presented. So Mr. Joseph, can you help how we can identify these presence? Normally we do the nitrogen purging in the columns. Then, some challenges, we have to bypass that one, we will check on some location only to check the hydrocarbon presence. How we can check all the columns to identify this benzene presence in the naphtha columns, sir? So Joseph, no problem. Any other today?
Yes, I'm here.
Joseph, did you got idea about my question? My question is, I have the challenges. I have the challenges to identify the benzene traces in the naphtha columns. During the confined space entry on any other hot work, we have to give. We have the challenges HSC professional, because HSC professional only we have to confirm this confined space is safe to enter. For that, we are doing the gas test to multi-gas detector we are using the multi-gas detector to check oxygen and other hydrocarbon. Now, the like a naphtha column or any other fractionating columns, we have challenges. I am also facing from 97. I do a lot of gas tests in the confined space, but we cannot make 100% free from hydrocarbon. How we can ensure this one other than nitrogen purging in the fractionating column?
Well,
yes, from your yes, your presentation, Joseph, you have explained very nicely. One of the finding, during the hydrocarbon, there is a hot work. That time, it was due to the presence of the benzene, it got an explosion in the fractionating column naphtha. Safdar, did you got what my question?
Yes, I got you. See, Mr. Joseph, the question was that the presence of gases detection in fracturing column is difficult. From your experience, can you throw some light on it? If you have the answer somewhere, it's good. If you don't have answer, no problem. We will ask among the audience who can answer this. Right,
same
sir?
time, I want to tell. Same time, I want to tell all the audience. Normally, we do if it is the reactor or some other process plant which allows steam or water flashing. But steam and water flashing, it may corrode the process material and integrity may lose. That's why normally in practice in hydrocarbon, nitrogen purging they are doing. That's why is there any other possible method is available? It will be better to everyone. Thank you, Safdar. We'll give to other people.
Yeah, okay. Now, Muruganandam sir has shared just there are different methods are there for purging by nitrogen gas. This is one of the industry practices we are doing it. If we, from your practice, if you are knowing some of the other different best practices, you can say this is an open platform to exchange. Any other question, if you are having it, we will take up, or now I will be opening for the new participant for today. When you are introducing to the group, only you say your name, which organization and country you are working, and how to come to know about this forum. So I can see a few new names are there. I don't know which part of the world you are connected with us. So kindly introduce yourself for 1 to 2 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Shahnawaz Khan, HSC in Al Ghanim International, Kuwait.
Great, Mr. Shahnawaz. And how you come to know about this forum?
Mr. Sheikh Iqbal introduced me to ASSP.
Great. And how is your exposure so far with process safety management?
It's really good. This season, it gave me a lot of experience, and it's very, Mr. Anurag gave me a golden words that's really opened my mind. The implementation, I can do more in my site.
Okay, great. We look forward for your active participation in future itself. Now,
Sure.
Please introduce. Thank you, Mr. Shahnawaz. Other gentleman,
Thank you, sir.
just raise your hand. Kindly introduce yourself. Any new participant today?
Good evening. My name is James Kinuthia.
Mr. James. Yeah.
From Kenya. I'm a director of SafePro Limited, a health and safety consultancy firm in Kenya. I was introduced to this forum by Engineer Joseph Kimeu, the first presenter. And I must say
great, Mr. James Kimeu from Kenya. Great.
It was a time well spent. Thank you, Tim.
Be a part of this wonderful knowledge sharing session and spread a word for this enhancing of knowledge. Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Ramana. Yes, Mr. Ricky Ogola. Yeah.
Yes, this is Ricky Ogola from Kenya also. I was introduced to the platform by Engineer Joseph. I am currently working for British America Tobacco, that is in Kenya, Nairobi, as a health and safety supervisor. This has been a very great experience. Yes, a very good experience. And in the world of process safety management, I'm relatively new into the industry, and I'm just looking forward into learning more and more of what is outside there. Thank you so much.
From this audience, who would like to give a short presentation for 10 minutes or 15 minutes? We will help you to develop your presentation. It not to be necessarily very wide in content, but we can help you on this. If someone is willing to give a short presentation for 10-15 minutes, you are welcome. Or right now, if you are not prepared, have a thought on this. And if you have a change in mind, you can post your interest with our chapter staff or either to me, and we will take you with your presentation itself also. So it is a good opportunity to explore yourself and do the networking. Basically, we are doing a part of communication. And effective communication comes when you try to convince a group of audience with different media and modems. So look forward and think over it. Ramana, if you have done QG posting or what is planned next? Let's see.
Yeah, it's online quiz. I'm going to post now.
Okay, there will be online course.
Just explain about the
will be, yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, and then we will okay. Then our speaker facilitations are also there, right? Yes, Ramana?
Yes, yes. Yeah. Meantime, we can give 5 minutes for networking. And
Yeah.
if anyone would like to talk, we can encourage them to talk.
Do you have the speaker facilitation slide? Then we will open this. Okay, open online quiz is there, and then while participants are, please open online quiz. Online quiz is already posted on chat box. Kindly participate on that, and meanwhile we will felicitate our presenter today, Mr. Open the screen, please. I can't see anything, Ramana.
Trying to open that one. Okay, let me share then. Avdarji, could you able to see this?
Yes, I can see only felicitations, captions is there, but names are not there. Yeah, now this is a small token of appreciation from American Society, a digital felicitation certificate from Anurag Tripathi sir from American Society for your presentation steps towards safety excellence. Please accept our small token of appreciation. I think he is now please accept our felicitation to Mr. Joseph Mu Kimayu for today presenting the case study on multiple fatality incident at TOSCO AVON Refinery. Mr. Joseph. It seems there is meanwhile, Ramana is preparing a quiz winner. The floor will be open for another 5 minutes for any networking if you wish to do this. Meanwhile, we thank you all for your active participation and sparing your time to this Process Safety Management Forum Technical Meet 18. And it was great help from our all event organizer, especially two speaker, Mr. Joseph and Mr. Anurag Tripathi sir. And our chapter staff, Mr. Ramana, Reyaz, they are operating from different location itself, and it was a little troublesome today. The connectivity issue was there. In fact, I was logged out 5 times and I was struggling hard to make it. So as you are aware that we are meeting every third of Wednesday, and we are always look out for developing people learning and growing together. So we are also looking for the speaker for next session. It can be a new speaker for 10 minutes, and the experienced personnel can share their experience in their walk of life. So we look forward for your help and nomination itself to organize it a very effective way. And we can also help you in other way, that there are many mentors who can guide you how to prepare and present this presentation. So it will be developing you internally itself, and it will give you some sort of leadership display activity and enhancing your confidence on this. Ramana, if you are having that quiz report ready.
No, not as
Ramana?
I'm still need to sort it out. It's not working. Okay. We can conclude in the meantime.
Yes, okay, no problem. That's those who have participated in this quiz program, definitely they will be getting a certificate of participation. And we are also very active on social media and YouTube pages. Those who has missed this presentation in the beginning, they can visit to ASSP Kuwait chapter, and that they can get a immensely benefit from the past episode itself. Many of them are there, which may be relevant to their work activity. And I thank you all for your active listening and having a patience to listen to us. And we look forward for your continued support for HSE activity, inshallah. Thank you very much, and good night to all of you. I am leaving that floor for group networking. On 18th, we are having a beach cleanup for WISE activity. Those safety professionals, their wives are here. They can attend this event in Masila beach cleanup. And please encourage, this is working together in a community to have a mass awareness among people, and this is the way we can contribute to society. So I urge everyone, spread this word for a lady HSE professional to participate in this. And those whose family are here, they can also participate in this beach cleanup program on 18th. We have floated this in our WhatsApp pages. Again, we will sending a reminder. So thank you all for your time. Now I will leave the floor to Mr. Ramana for a small networking if someone wishes to continue. Mr. Ramana?
Yes, Safdarji.
Dear
Okay,
Ramana.
I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now I am leaving floor to you. Please do little networking.
Yeah, okay, no issues.
Thank you, dear. Thank you.
Actually, I'm preparing the slides, so that's why the winner slides. Anyway, it's not an issue. Those whoever wants to talk on this platform, you can open your mic and you can speak. Floor is open to you. Anyone would like to talk about anything related to ASSP, related to your career, whatever it is, your experience or something, you can open your mic and share. Thank you.
So, what is the time for this beach cleaning on 18th?
Pardon?
Time for this beach cleaning event.
Yeah, time
9:30 to 11:30, sir. Morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
To all the participants, I have some information. I heard some of the members are asking how to improve the PSM skill and all. You know, if you are the ACC member, you are the PSM initiative. Automatically, you will become a PSM initiative. Just you attend all the PSM meet, and a lot of PSM program was arranged by our ASSP, because I joined in ASSP very late, 2015. But now after that, after joining ASSP only, I become some PSM knowledge. Now I can manage, I can say I can conduct some audit on PSM. That's why we have to attend all our ASSP PSM programs. Then you will be become, no need to go separate and don't think about like that. Because all safety is learning from the fast information, the same like that. PSM not have any separate one. There is no dictionary on PSM. We have to learn from the PSM activities only, the process safety information only. Okay, that's why please be active participation in all the ASSP event, especially our ASSP Kuwait chapter conducting a lot of PSM programs. That if you attend, you will get automatically become a PSM specialist. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan sir. Thank you very much.
I have a small question.
Yes, Joseph, who is question?
This is Ricky.
Yes, yeah, you can communicate what is your question, Ricky.
Yeah, I just wanted to find out which is the best international institution that is offering maybe a professional course in PSM.
Yes, already, our ASSP Kuwait charter, normally, only the federal law is OSHA PSM. Internationally recognized was OSHA PSM. OSHA Process Safety Management under general industry category.
Okay.
Then another presently available CCPS. They are giving the supporting for the PSM.
Okay,
apart from
thank you.
Even ILO and a lot of other, you can search in Google search, you will get it. Because I learned like that only, the Ritvik sir from ASSP, he conducted the session long back based on like what you're asking, like that only I asked. They told like this, you start from OSHA PSM, you will become all the knowledges.
Thank you, sir.
Sir,
Thank you so much.
let me add more in this one. ASSP Kuwait chapter is planning the PSM 60 hours online course, and we already completed first batch. And second batch, we are planning maybe within a couple of months, we will introduce. You can join from any part of the world.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Ricky.
Thank you, Jahid. I think
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Morgan sir, thank you, Ramu, and thank you all for your patience and active participation. Ramana, if you are ready with the quiz, because many children, they are waiting to see their father's name.
Oh, really? Okay, it's ready now.
Yalla.
True.
Wait. Oh shit. Okay, sorry for the delay. Now it's ready. The first winner. Jaji.
Congratulations, Mr. Manjur. As always, your son always getting your name, and because of these things. Thank you very much, Mr. Manjur, for your active participations. And
really, my children are waiting for my name.
Yes, that's right. Okay, dear.
Okay.
Next,
Okay,
thank you. This is not fair, Mr. Joseph. You know every answer. But even though, no problem. Congratulations again to you also. Next. Iqbal Ahmad Sheikh Anshari. Congratulations, Mr. Iqbal. Jakulla Ramachandra Murthy, one of the active PSM specialists, we can say, because each and every PSM technical unit Pawan, Jakulla, Manzoor, Ramu, these people you will always see in the picture. They are always attending. Thank you, Mr. Ramachandra Murthy. Congratulations. Mr. Syed Arif, Syed Ibrahim. Congratulations, Mr. Syed Arif. And just to remind again, the beach cleanup and the BOHS training program, and Murugan sir himself is planning to have one training on loss prevention in general industries. We will shortly release the date. So please participate in this kind of training and enhance your knowledge and experience. Thank you very much. Thank you, Ramanna. Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, Zeke. It's too late, it seems.
Yes, Ramanna, yes. Thank you for being there always. No problem, whatever the mistakes happens, and we are learning from our mistakes. Don't worry, enjoy your vacation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Mr. Ricky, thank you. Thank you, Ramanna.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Happy vacation, Ramana.
Thank you, Mr. Ramu. Bye bye.